Robert Downey Jr. has always had an animal instinct for scoring the big gigs.
He'll no longer be party to my investigations. He's out of the equation.
From Charlie Chaplin to Sherlock Holmes and Iron Man, he's played some of pop culture's most memorable characters.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
And those animal instincts have come in handy for his latest role as the famous Dr. Dolittle, the eccentric veterinarian who can speak to animals.
Hello, Patty. Hello, lunch. This is very bad.
I caught up earlier with the fabulous RDJ to chat about the film, and he was a charmer from the get-go.
Georgie, thank God it's you.
Oh, you know what to say. A massive congrats on the film. Now, I watched it with my 9-year-old daughter, and it's such a magical tale of that beautiful bond that we share with animals. What drew you to the story?
I've been caught up doing films that when I started, my firstborn was 14, and he's kind of lost interest. But my now 5- and 7-year-olds haven't ever really been appropriately aged to watch any of the movies I was doing. And aside from the fact that we just really liked the story and the script, Susan Downey, my life partner and boss, said, I just got a feeling about this. And it's so funny because it was, you know, things move around. It was maybe going to come out a different time, and it happens to be coming out right now, coinciding when I think the message of how connected we all are and how important it is to be our brother and sister's keeper and look after all creatures is so obviously it's right at the forefront of world news.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, Robert. That's exactly what I thought in the opening scenes of the movie. I mean, we open with this beautiful, magical, green, luscious environment. We see some of our most loved animals. And as I'm sure you'll know, Robert, here in Australia at the moment, we're facing a terrible crisis with our bushfires. We have lost so many animals. It is such a timely film, isn't it, with our relationship with Mother Nature and the environment?
Yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, sometimes you tend to pay attention to what's going on in your own backyard, but I can say literally everyone in Los Angeles and everyone here in the States, it's so at the forefront of our thoughts because it's so significant. It's not symbolic. It's a real, obvious mega crisis. It's just astonishing, the idea of processing the loss of 1 billion souls.
With most of RDJ's co-stars being computer-generated animals, things got a little interesting on set.
Well, I have a very vivid imagination. Sometimes there were animal actors. In other words, folks in green suits who are just extraordinary performers in their own right. Sometimes you'd be looking at an animatic kind of scene. You know, sometimes in other movies I've done, it's like, there's the bad guy, he's a green tennis ball, you're terrified. Whereas this time, because we're all so closely connected, it was more like trying to act like you're like a den mother, and there's just all these things. So it was really fun. It reminded me of kind of like kid play.
Is this the first time, Robert Downey Jr., you've ever had to ride an ostrich?
It is my first time riding an ostrich, which, by the way, was a very strange mechanical instrument that was quite high up off the air and was capable of doing enormous speeds, neither of which I'm a particularly big fan of, heights or speeds. So I can only begin to imagine the horrors of riding a motivated ostrich.
Nobody told me there'd be a dragon!
I'm too beautiful to die.
Well, it's a beautiful film, and as you said, it couldn't have come out at a better time. Robert Downey Jr., thanks so much for speaking with us on The Project.
Georgie, it's a pleasure. When I'm down under, I'll look you up. I'll knock you up, as they say. But, you know, not that way where we have to get a
Maybe not that way,
paternity
but look us up, definitely. Thanks, Robert.
There you go.
There you go. That doesn't happen every day. Dolittle, it's great. It's in cinemas from Thursday.
Breaking news.